Hello everyone, Auvbri here and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today we are doing the Charlotte Hospital, and this is a build that I have been teasing you guys about for so long, and it's finally done. And yeah, it turned out freaking amazing. It took so long to do, and I actually wanted to have it up on YouTube yesterday. So that would be September the 26th. Um, but I just couldn't finish it because it took so long, and the editing, and I mean, this video might only be like 22 minutes long, but it took almost 7 or 8 hours to do this entire build because it was such a big build, but I think it turned out so nice. So you might be asking, why is this named the Charlotte Hospital? Well, my mom had her 50th birthday yesterday, and I really wanted to name the hospital after her because she's a huge inspiration for me, and she really believes in my YouTube career as well. So it was just a no-brainer for me to do this kind of build for her as well. And I think it turned out so freaking amazing and beautiful. And it's a super modern, nice looking hospital. So let's just get down to the business that you guys want to see here. So I actually edited a lot in this video, so there is a lot of things that you're not gonna see me do, and that would be very tedious work, like placing certain items or doing certain stuff, and that's just something that you're not gonna see me do. And then we have the other thing that almost all of the patient rooms look the same, so I also cut that out, where I kind of copy paste everything to kind of do that. But yeah, it's a fully working hospital, and I've actually been using this hospital for a little while, playing around with it, because I wanted to make sure that everything was working properly before I actually put it up on the gallery. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very modern looking hospital. So we have this big glass cube in the middle that's kind of connecting the right side of the hospital, which has all of the hospital bedrooms, if examination rooms, and so on. And this is the front entrance here, and then we have a cafeteria as well, and we have a big nice entrance in the middle here with the big glass cube. We have a office area, so kind of like a area for all the doctors and stuff like that, where they can kind of research diseases and do their thing in the hospital. And we have a little sleeping area for the doctors as well, just because I thought about them having these really long shifts, and I wanted them to have a place there they could kind of sleep and stuff. And we have loads of vending machines, and I did something really cool. So I don't know how hospitals actually work in other parts of the world, but here in Denmark, first off, our hospital is free, so all of our healthcare is totally free. We pay for that through our taxes, and that's also why Denmark is one of the countries in the world that has the highest paying tax per citizen. So we pay a really high tax, but we can use all of the healthcare options free of charge, which is really cool. And I think it should be like that in all countries, really, because it's just the better thing to do. But back on track. What I wanted to say. So here in Denmark, our hospitals is kind of, when you walk in, we have all of these different types of lines on the floor. So different colored lines that kind of shows you that if you have to get to the floor with all of where all of the birthing takes place. So where all of the childbirth and stuff like that, you would follow the red line and stuff like that. So I tried to kind of imitate that, and you can kind of see me here. We've jumped into a new clip where I started to build the interior. So this is kind of like where you walk in, and we kind of have the waiting room, and it's just I try to make it look like a very nice place to be. So this would be the entrance. Now, one thing about this build, so you can see we have elevators in this build, and that's just something that I wanted to have in there, because for me, you cannot have a hospital without having elevators. That just doesn't make sense to me. But one thing, I had to cheat the game when actually placing these elevators. So when you actually do download this, if you're gonna do that, it's gonna tell you you have to use the enable free build cheat, and then place the build from the gallery, and then you can't actually get out of the build mode because it says there's too many elevators. So what you're gonna do is go to the main menu, so save and exit to main menu, and then go into the game again, and then you can kind of play with the lot again. So the elevators is not actually functional, so I created a back staircase, kind of like a fireplace, not fireplace, like a fire entrance staircase that you can kind of see in the back there. So we kind of have like these little doors going out to that. But I tried to hide those because I felt like, the elevators is just a much more realistic portrayal of a hospital. So yeah, we're just working on some different seating areas all around the place here. So that's something that we also have a lot of in Denmark. Lots of different seating areas, but I tried to make this hospital look really modern. So I wanted to have a very modern feel to the hospital, so that would kind of reflect the way that it looked from the outside as well. And I think I really did that. I mean, I'm so happy about how this turned out. One thing I would have wanted to change. So you can kind of see here, I had the problem with the elevators, but I figured out how to work around that. But one thing I might have wanted to change about this build is we're building the 2 bathrooms now, or toilets, whatever. But these are the only 2 in the build, and I mean, yeah, I could have put in a little more, but there was like, I don't remember, maybe it was like on the Sims VIP website where they kind of put up a list of things that needed to be in the lot for it to work, and there was only in need of 1 toilet, and I just couldn't figure out where to put it because things just didn't fit in. So we just put in a door in the back here, and we're gonna create a parking lot in the end. But yeah, still working around with the general hospital here. So we actually went through a lot of colors that you can't see in this build. But one of them that's still a little remnant is the red color that we had in the front. And I decided to change that for a blue color because I just feel like a blue is a more hospital friendly color, and I feel like red is just blood, and no. I didn't want to do that, so blue it was, and then we work with different blue accents and blue, whites, and grays and blacks. That's kind of what we work with in this build, and I think it turned out very nice. So here we're going to the back room where all of the doctors would kind of research diseases and do medical histories and blah blah blah, whatever they do on a computer. And that's kind of where that would take place. So we have 4 desks, and then I decided to put in a little dining room area. Not that they are gonna have dining rooms in this place. I just wanted to have a little place where they could kind of sit down and enjoy something from the snack machine, which I'm also gonna put in now, as you can see. But I feel like they would also eat in a cafeteria, as well as hospital guests would. So I kind of created a little kitchen in the cafeteria, and it's not I don't think it's functional. You can use it if you want to, but there's not going to be a chef there. It's just for purely aesthetics and looks that it's there. So yeah. And I just threw in a lot of office supplies around the place, and medical history thingies, and yeah, this is kind of the office. Going upstairs here, so this is where I decided to put in some bunk beds, and I've also tested these out. They are fully workable, and I just felt like bunk beds was a really nice touch. If you have watched shows like Grey's Anatomy and stuff like that, you'd know that they kind of have like these bunk bed type of places where they can kind of go down and sleep after a very long shift. Not that the shifts in this Sims game is that long, but it's nice to try to recreate something realistic in this game, and I really think that this turned out to be a nice place. Yeah, nothing really special going on up here. Just a little seating area, some pictures on the wall, and it's just a place for people to sleep. And plants always makes it great in this game. It just makes it a bit more realistic. So now we've jumped into the cafeteria. And I really wanted to have these open window things, so I kind of figured that they would take like a tray and go through the window and kind of get some food. I know that's not how it works, but I just like the idea of it being that way. And one of the old requirements was to have, I can't believe it was 1 or 2 microwaves and a coffee machine. So I just put that in for good measure, and then I decided to have 6 tables with 4 chairs at each, because I feel like that it just looks more full when there's a lot of chairs in the cafeteria. Some wall decoration just kind of break things up, and yeah, this is kind of the cafeteria. And then I decided to have 2 tables just before you go into the cafeteria. So this is also something that's very present in Danish hospitals. So when you use a hospital here, there's almost always a little table somewhere where there's fruit and a soft drink. Not soft drink, what is that called in English? Kind of like water with taste. So it's not a soft drink, it doesn't have bubbles in it, but I can't remember what that's called in English, but you guys know what I mean. So there's a table with that, and it's like red, and then there's fruit and general water, regular water, and that's kind of it. And there's always that somewhere on the floor, there's always that table. So I thought it would be cool to kind of recreate that. So here we are just copy pasting rooms. So one thing I actually had to do, I had to go out of this build, get in this build again, and because I had to go out of the build to get the examination beds. For some reason, when I did this, there was a tab under the all items that said medical and clinic stuff. But for some reason, the operating table, which we have here, and the medical examination table was not under that. And the build would not work if I didn't have those. So I had to go into another game, start up a new game, get her to do that career, create a room with those 2 items in it, put it on my library, and then get into this room, copy paste it. And then I had to do that every single time because I couldn't just copy that one item. It didn't let me do that. So that was a bit annoying, but yeah, you know, it's just something you have to do. So here we're just working on the last small details, and that was just putting some seating areas all around the different floors. So again, as I said before, we have 3 floors with different examination rooms and stuff like that. And on the upper floor here is the most amount of examination rooms, and also we needed to have, you know, just some seating areas as well. So as you can see, I kind of created, like, as I said in the beginning, these colored lines that would kind of act as a way for you to find your way around the the hospital. Yeah. I'm so proud. I'm allowed to say that, but I'm super, super proud of how this turned out. I mean, I just think this turned out so good, and it's definitely one of the best builds I've ever done. So if you enjoy this build as much as me, you can get it on the gallery. But yeah, I'm gonna say a lot more about that in the end. So here we're just creating the parking lot. It's not the biggest parking lot, but I just needed to create something so you could kind of see where people could go in from the backside, because there's always that one place that people can always come in from, and there's the front where entrance, and then there's the, I don't want to say back, but there's a smaller entrance in the back of the hospital always. At least that's the way it is in Denmark. And I just used these toy cars to kind of mimic real life cars being in the parking spot. And yeah, that's kind of it. So as you can see, there's plenty of room to expand this hospital if you so desire to do so. But I don't feel like I wanted it to be any bigger. I mean, it's already a huge build compared to the original hospital that's in the game. And I was just looking at the original when I actually had to copy paste those items into this build. Man, this is a really big build. I mean, it's actually kind of insane how big it turned out, but I'm super happy about how it turned out. So the big green area here, I just decided to put in some trees just to kind of fill it out. I didn't want to do something special with the garden. I wanted it to be not wild looking, but still a bit untamed, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And then we have this great bush all around the place, just to kind of, screen everything off so you can kind of see where the border is. And it's a very maintained bush, and we have some flower beds in the front, and yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, we're almost done here. So this is just the last finishing touches as we jump into the screenshot in just a tiny second. I changed the sign as well to a light blue, just so it would kind of fit everything. So this is the entrance, and you can kind of see we have the colored lines, so you can kind of see where to go. Here we have the big glass cube with the waiting area, and the back entrance here with the yellow line. And here we have the examination room, and all of these rooms kind of look the same. So they're just copy pasted. Of course, I had to move some certain things a little bit. for them to match up with the windows. Here we have the operating room, and this is on the floor where babies are born. And here we have the cafeteria, where we kind of have like this nice table with fruits and the overall cafeteria here. Here we have the office area where your doctors can sit down and research diseases and whatever else they do. So I want to say real quick, if you want to get this build, you can certainly do so. It's on the gallery right now. Just search my origin ID Auvbri and you should be able to find it, or search the item name, which is Charlotte Hospital, and you should also be able to find it. And yeah, I just want to say again, happy birthday to my lovely mother. Thank you so much for everything you've done, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this build as we watch the very last screenshots here. Again, fully functional, this hospital. I wrote on the gallery how you are gonna place this and how to do so, so check that out. And yeah, the last screenshot here. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, be sure to leave it a big like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Almost 38,000 subscribers at this moment. Insane. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day. Bye.